We have carcinogens like formaldehyde in vaccines that are actually cancer-causing agents, and they're injecting that into people as well. And let's not forget to mention the Special Virus Cancer Project. I have multiple years of documents of this in my progress report number 9 here before me, published in 1982. They're actually doing research, such as the Southwest Foundation for Research and Education, a branch of the NIH, studying latent virus infection and transmission. They're studying how to activate these viruses with pesticides and other things. I mean, it's just unbelievable when you read the documents, just like the Nazis basically telling us what they're doing. We have another one by the Bionetics Research Laboratories, investigations of viral carcinogenesis in primates. They want to figure out what actually activates carcinogenesis. And as I explain in my paper, Inoculations of True Weapons of Mass Destruction, when you're injecting all these viruses into a person or a pet, of course, that's a total distraction for the immune system. The T cells, which I describe as the little Pac-Man cells, whose job it is to go around and gobble up cancer cells, they're totally paralyzed because the B cell arm is so busy creating antibodies. So there's many different factors involved in forming cancer. On my website, I actually have an MP3 file of a show I did on cancer, which people can listen to, that explains the various aspects. But this is so huge. And as we see cancer increasing and increasing, we have, the Susan G. Komen marching, having people march around to raise millions of dollars for research to find a cure. How about if we get rid of the cause, folks? How about if we stop these inoculations, which are the true weapons of mass destruction?
I know that they came and took your medical license. You fought them and got it back.
Actually, I didn't fight them. What they wanted me to do, and let me just say, when I was a surgeon, I never had a single complaint against me even then. So what they did was, I was on public access TV in Long Island, and I did a show about the pedophiles in the high layers of government. They used that to bring a charge against me that I have a delusion of conspiracy. And even though 10 psychologists and psychiatrists examined me and found that I was fine, they found their whore from France, this Zev Labens, who said, not only do I have a delusion, but it was so dangerous that in order to practice medicine, I would have to undergo psychiatric treatment, electroshock therapy, or institutionalization. So that's when I told them they can keep their license. I'm a teacher now. I've totally taken myself out from under their auspice.
No, but I read that you'd successfully beaten them. I guess that was wrong. But I mean, specifically, though, so much of what you're saying is in the mainline literature, and now they're saying it's mentally ill to believe in a new world order.
Yes.
And they're saying people need to be grabbed. And, they arrested Ezra Pound, the Pulitzer Prize winner, because he said the Federal Reserve was private, and put him in a mental institution. So people go to mental institutions, folks, for saying the Federal Reserve's private now. Well,
this is a very important thing that I want to make the listeners realize. They're actually committing genocide, murder by medicine in hospitals now. We all know the Medicare Trust Fund is gone, and actually that's been a fact for many years. So what they're doing with older people in the hospital is they're taking them out. They're giving them morphine to stop their breathing, mismatched blood transfusions. I've actually been involved with many cases as a patient advocate in cases like that. And people are complaining about the bad doctors. What you need to do, folks, is stand with the good doctors. Every single doctor who tells the truth, especially at very extreme levels, as I do, they go after their medical license. And this is what people have to realize. There's not going to be any doctors that actually are able to help you. As a matter of fact, with this national health care plan they have planned for us, they're actually going to have governmental clinical guidelines. So what we're getting to is a place where you don't even need a medical doctor. You could have a computer sitting in front of you.
And by the way, let me stop you. My dad's a dentist and oral surgeon. He said even before they passed this federal takeover of medicine, now they give them these computer systems, and the HMOs and the government tell you everything you can do. And he says the computer is now the doctor. And the government practices medicine, and it's the dentists, the doctors. When you go into the hospital to have a baby, they ask you, "Oh, honey, you got plenty of money? Is your husband nice to you?" That's all going to the health department to seize your kids. I mean, it literally, through the public schools and medicine, it is incrementally a Nazi death camp.
I totally agree with you. And as a matter of fact, the hospitals actually get kickbacks for any cases that they refer to CPS. And usually it's if they, if the parents are foolish enough to admit that they don't vaccinate their children, if they bring them in for a broken arm or whatever, they get kickbacks for every child that gets into the system and then gets adopted out or put into foster care or whatever. I mean, medicine has now become a government entity, and it's a viper. Just
like in Nazi Germany. I want to go to phone calls here. Okay. Justin in North Carolina, you're on the air with our guest. Go ahead. Justin in North Carolina, you're on the air with Dr. Rebecca Carley.
Hey, Alex. Hey, Dr. Carley. How y'all doing today?
Okay. We're ready to go.
Carley, my name's Justin. I'm from the same town in North Carolina that you live now. I'm actually friends with Rick and Unzara. I was wanting to ask you a question. Now, you said on your website that you have some kind of cure for the autoimmune diseases. Do you have any kind of list on there for any kind of natural treatment for the bird flu? I mean, if it breaks out tomorrow, what can we do as citizens to get some natural holistic medicines and treat ourselves? Is there anything that we can have on standby to try to combat this?
Okay, well, first of all, you're not allowed to use the cure word, Justin, unless you're using medicine, which, of course, cures nothing. No, I'm just saying that's actually a law. So that's what I do, is teach people how to reverse their situations. And what I suggest to people is, to detoxify yourself as much as possible, eat organic food, drink good water, learn about natural things that you can use to
organic
get your body.
Vitamins, exercise.
Yes, but do all the good things to get your body in as good shape as possible before the whole thing explodes. But yes, there's actually homeopathic remedies that you can get against the bird flu. I recommend everybody have a colloidal silver generator because, of course, the FDA is going after colloidal silver manufacturers with a vengeance now, claiming...
Hey, they're listing vitamin B variants as medicines now, already saying we can't have them in America.
Exactly. So you have to start stocking up, folks. You have to get yourself as healthy as possible now while you're still able to do certain things. But the most important thing is do not get the bird flu vaccine. When they start pushing this, you have to just say no. And as your neighbors are dropping dead like flies, just realize that, all the things in the kitchen cupboard, I mean, garlic, there's so many things, olive leaf extract.
Al-Qaeda-ick. Garlic is evil. Al-Qaeda-ick. Okay, keep going.
I would have as many things like that on hand as you possibly can. But the key thing is to get your body as cleaned out as possible because your body has the ability to basically fight anything. Now, of course, they're coming out with weaponized strains of these things. So something like a bird flu no-so, which is a homeopathic remedy, would be very good. Unfortunately, you can't buy those. Those aren't sold to the public. You have to go through distributors. But if people call me, I'll tell you where you can get that. But the point is to learn what not to do. And, that involves not taking aspartame, all these things that are making you sick.
Look, the biggest thing is if it breaks out, don't be around anybody.
Yes,
run to the hills. And that's why the British, the U.S., the Canadians troops are saying they're going to lock down the cities. Even if it is in your area yet, they're going to lock you down to make sure it can get into your city, to make sure you can't get out. And I appreciate your call, Justin. Joe in California. Joe, you're on the air.